soon. There we go. Hey everybody, it's Andy, LaCivita, and I am bringing you my live 4-part #1 tip series. You're live with me on YouTube if you're watching this at Thursday at noon Eastern on October 18th. Great to have you. I think we got the stream started correctly today. All kidding aside, welcome back. Session number 4. Session number 4 of this live event that we've been conducting for the last 8 days. These are my favorite tips related to each step in your job search. Today we're going to be talking about the salary negotiation process, and I'm going to give you my best tip to get you started on the straight and narrow and to make sure that you do this or actually don't do this, because it's the biggest mistake that job seekers make related to this process. So we're going to have a lot of fun. I've got a lot of stories for you today. We got a great agenda. We're going to go through that. We're going to go through the tip. I'm going to talk with you about why it's so important and why a lot of what you think about this and the whole salary negotiation process is in many cases wholly inaccurate. We're going to go through a lot of that. I'm going to talk to you about multiple tenets that you have to hang on to as you go through the negotiation process. I'm also going to show you how to do this at a few of the major steps in the interview process, so hopefully you can get paid what you deserve. I'm going to talk for a couple of minutes about my job search boot camp. We have the last live round. It is a live 7-session round that is starting tomorrow. It's starting tomorrow on Friday. If you're here with me live, it starts tomorrow. The live sessions do. So if you are interested, I'm going to go over that for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then we're going to spend about an hour on the Q&A. So I hope everybody's buckled up. Get in the chat. Say hello. Let me know where you're from, what you do, what you need. I always love to hear that. Put question marks in front of your question so that I can pick it out. If you are a boot camper or you are on the interview intervention team, please let me know. Put a pound boot camper or pound I teamer in the chat, and do share your experience working with me and being a part of the Mile Walk Academy community. I always love when you do that, and it's really helpful for those who are interested in joining us. Now, I mentioned this is a 4-part series. I created an event page for this whole event. There is a link in the description. It's got all the replays that you can access. You can also access them on YouTube. There's some goodies and some other things on that page, so check it out. And make sure you are subscribed to my YouTube channel, because even though this is the last live session in this series, every week on Thursdays I go live. Every week I give you a new recorded video on Tuesdays. And some other goodies, so I don't want you to miss anything that will help you build a career you love. All right, let's talk about this this whole process, the salary negotiation process. Now today we are going to talk about one tip, but the good news is, and I could talk for hours about this subject alone. Actually, in the boot camp, we do talk about this for a couple of hours, but I want you all to know that there are 3 or 4 videos that are out there that I've already shot for you. One is related to the best answer to the what's your expected salary question, the one you usually get in the early process of the interviewing process, or the early stages of the interviewing process. I've also did a live office hours on why you don't get paid what you deserve, and it has a lot to do with the things that you need to do along the way in the process and how to handle yourself, what to do, what not to do, so that your stock is very high, so that at the end of the process, when you do negotiate the dollars and the cents, you know what to do. And I also shot a video on how to negotiate your salary after you get a job offer. So all those links are in there. I want you to be aware that those are out there, because today we're going to spend a lot of time trying to recalibrate your beliefs and your assumptions and the things that are tripping you up. The things that are tripping you up. So I want to bring your mind, I want to bring this to the forefront of your mind. So what's the tip that I want to give you? I'm going to come right out of the gate with this. This isn't, it's a good tip, but this isn't the science of the discussion today. What usually happens in an interviewing process, whether it's the application or in the initial screen, or even the pre-offer, lots of times an employer will ask you, what do you expect in the way of salary? What do you expect in the way of salary? It comes in a lot of forms. Sometimes it's online. Sometimes it's in an email. Sometimes it's live. Sometimes it's on the phone or whatever. The tip is, the thing that I want you to resist is, I don't ever, under any circumstances, do I ever want you to give them any dollars or cents in the way of what you expect. I don't want a number. I don't want a range. I don't want anything. Do not tell them anything, anytime. You always want to make sure that you are receiving an offer and understand what it is that they would like to pay you, or their assessment based on the value they think you're going to bring based on your performance in the interview. It is always better to react to their offer than it is for you to suggest. Now, there's many reasons why that is, but I want to take you kind of on a journey today, and I want to talk to you about why this is so important. Now, to give you an idea of my perspective and my experience, and some of you that follow me probably know this, but I am an executive recruiter. I have been. I still am. I'm about to ink another deal. The minute we get off this session with a brand new client, you're actually going to hear a little bit about them today. Nearly 600 employment agreements I have negotiated for people. Nearly $100 million in total salaries. Actually, it's well beyond that, but well over $90 million in salaries, nearly $100 million. I want you to think about that. There's 260 workdays in a year. That's like me spending every day for 2 straight years negotiating employment agreements. So I think I know a thing or two about how this process works. And there are many things that great negotiators do. There are several aspects and things that they focus on. There are 2 that we are going to talk about today that are very germane to our discussion. And these are the 2 most important things that you as a job seeker, I want you to hang on to. And I mentioned, the first kind of step 0 is I always want you to catch the offer, not pitch the offer. Okay, so with this in mind, why is this the case? So those two tenets that I talked about in The Greatest Negotiators. The first thing is, it's kind of a multi-pronged thing. A great negotiator, somebody who is well positioned to, when the rubber meets the road, to actually make a good deal, is constantly seeking information. They are always assuming, quite correctly, that they don't have all the information that they need. So there's a never-ending pursuit to get more information about what this is. More information about the employer, more information about what how they value your position, more information about what they're willing to pay, more information about what their benefits look like, more information about what the vacation policy looks like. Anything that you can gather in the way of more information will help you. The second thing that great negotiators do is they always focus on possibility, the art of the possible, whatever you want to call it. But they keep a wide range of possibilities in their mind, or they know that there are more possibilities that they haven't thought of yet. So they keep their assumptions down. They seek their information. They're very aggressive in getting it in the way in which they are constantly pursuing it in a good-natured way. And they are always thinking about what's possible, not what they think historically has happened. So those are the 2 things that I want you to focus on. Now, when you think about, and when you think about all the different places that you can actually be requested for this information about what your expected salary is, we've got, right out of the gate on the application. On the application, lots of times it will ask you, and later in the discussion, I'm going to give you the prescriptions for how to handle these areas. But for right now, I want you to be aware, and I want to draw your attention to the fact that you are asked probably before you even see anybody or talk to anybody. So the application is one place. The other place is the screen. The screen could be in person. The screen could be on the phone. It could be a Skype call. It could be any of those. But that's another spot that you're usually asked and also tempted. And then the other spot is in what I call the pre-offer. Hey, we love you, Susie. We want to give you an offer. What are you looking for in the way of compensation? So these are the places where where you generally can get tripped up. Now, just because the employer asks you does not mean that you need to give them an answer. Let's talk about that. Why do you think why do you think that you actually need to give them an answer? That is not the case in any way, shape, or form. Just because they ask you does not mean you need to give them an answer. So I want your first reaction to be, no, I'm not going to tell you. I mean, I don't want you to say it that way, but I want you internally to remember that that's what I want you to do. Do not tell them that. It is not necessary. And trust me, we run surveys on employers. We run surveys on employees. Most employers are willing to pay their employees more. Actually, more than 90% of them who responded to the surveys indicated so. But they don't feel that that's necessary if the employee is going to be happy with something less than than they need to pay, right? They're in a business to make money. I get that. So I want you to think about this. Just because you are being asked, the most important thing about the process that you are entering into and ultimately what you want to do toward the end is you are a team. This needs to be a win-win. This negotiation process, these interviewing processes should not be a tug of war. And good teammates work together toward a common goal. Now, that being the case, if 90% of employers are willing to pay you more, I don't want you necessarily leaving that money on the table. Don't get me wrong. I don't want you to wring out every single nickel. But I just want you to be thoughtful about if there's one more or two more steps that you might be able to take in order to get a greater level of compensation. But it also starts with not putting a low number out there to begin with. And there's a lot of things that can go wrong by you pitching. Now, let's talk about these assumptions that most people have. As somebody who deals with job candidates through my recruitment firm, as well as many of you in my community and also in the Mile Walk Academy that are in my training and coaching programs, I know that there are a lot of reasons why you have these assumptions, and I want to talk about these. And I want to give you the insider view as somebody who's been a recruiter for a long time and a hirer for even longer. I want to give you the inside track on things that usually lead you to believe in limitations or have assumptions or things that you're used to. So let's talk about that. So we think about oftentimes the limits in compensation for many reasons. We think about assumptions. We think we have to respond to the questions. We just think this, whether it's because we're human or it's what we've been told or whatever. But the number one, I'm going to give you 5 reasons, but the first reason I want to talk about in why we generally think that is because it's what we're used to earning. It's what we've historically earned. We have this traditional bias or historical bias or whatever you want to call it, or that's just the way it's been for me. But I want to give you an example. By the way, I'm going to give you about 4 or 5 stories here over the course of the next 10 minutes. And I want you to know that all of these stories have happened within the last number of weeks, actually days, weeks, or recent months. I did not have to dig hard for what I'm about to tell you. Let me tell you about Amy. Amy's a nurse clinician, and she was recently working at Northwestern Medical, very prominent hospital, medical facility, university, the whole 9 yards. Was in charge of their wellness programs. Recruiter from British Petroleum Amoco, BP Amoco called her, said, hey, we want to run these kind of programs at our company, so large company, want to run these programs here. Would you be interested in coming in for an interview? She did. Fast forward through the process. They want to give her an offer. Recruiter calls her, says, what do you want? Now, this is a woman who has a good job, and she was pretty happy. In her role, was building these nice programs, was in charge of them, and she thought, well, I'll just take a great leap, and I like these people, and this would be a great job, so I would like twice what I'm currently earning. Recruiter goes back, talks to the hiring official, calls her back within 30 minutes, said, done. We'll send you the paperwork. We'll walk you through the offer. Now, most of you are out there probably doing backflips, right? And you're thrilled because you just within minutes went from earning X to earning 2X. And that's great. But the moral of this story is what she did not know is they'd have paid her 3 times what she earned because it was a drop in the bucket to them. She didn't know that they'd been searching for almost 7 months and not able to find anybody with this particular experience that she had that they highly valued more than most would. And they started thinking about what was this going to do for our international massive company in the way of employee happiness and retention, health, and all that other good stuff, from a recruitment standpoint and a number of other things and things that I don't even know how you would quantify. But certainly whatever they were about to pay her to have this impact was absolutely negligible for them. So while I'm happy for her and her husband, who's a great buddy of mine, is thrilled, all that's great and good. But the point is, if you really think about it, and while that might be an extreme case, she did not have a lot of information when she put her pitch out, which she should not have done. How about this one? Well, I just know that that's what the market pays because I've talked to people. And I'm used to earning what I'm used to earning, and that's just what those people and those roles at those types of companies earn. Heard that one before? Let me tell you about Kim. Kim was a recruit we had earlier this year, earlier in 2018. She was a human resources professional. She was like the top dog. She was the top HR dog in a software company, medium-sized software company. Our client was a hardware, software, and software as a services vendor in the railway industry. They supported a lot of the technologies for rail cars. So we were recruiting for a senior vice president or executive, whatever we could find level-wise, to run their HR program. Similar size company. This woman, Kim, earned $155,000 a year. She had a $10,000 bonus that did not get paid out last year. She goes through the process with our client, and we negotiate her offer. She now has a target compensation package of $270,000 with a $185,000 base salary, and the difference between $185,000 and $270,000, 50% of that is guaranteed no matter what happens, as long as she doesn't do anything egregious, that she's going to earn. Now, was she at market pay? Is she now at market pay? There's no such thing anymore as this is what these people get paid. The compensation structures at all the companies around the world are entirely too complicated now. There are lots of things that go on with vacations, and especially now with healthcare costs and other things related to your retirement or not related to your retirement or stock or whatever. It's very, very difficult to determine what a quote-unquote market pay is. So if Kim would have thought that, well, I should try to go for a 10% raise, or maybe I can stretch it and go for a 20% raise, it's just short-sighted thinking. So I want you to recognize that what you think is market pay is probably very, very inaccurate. This is a great one here. The job description indicates that the range is $180,000 to $190,000 for the job. Let me tell you about another company, a client of ours that we've been working with for a very long time. They have a very senior engineering position that they are searching for, and they have actually hired in-house recruiters last year or maybe the year before. They've been doing a lot of their own recruiting. We do some specialty positions for them. The HR person calls me and she says, Andy, we really like your help with this position. And I looked on, I had the details and I had their job description and I had a bunch of stuff that she'd sent me in advance. And I said, hey, look, you actually publicized the range here, 180 to 190,000. Is that just, kind of where you want to target? She said, we will pay anything we have to pay to get the person. Now, the reason they're calling me is because they're not having luck, right? So they're not getting people to respond to them. Their recruiters are reaching out. They're not having luck. So this is obviously a very high demand position. And these guys and gals are pretty difficult to rip out of what they're doing because they're usually pretty happy and they're getting paid very well for their job. Except that what I asked the HR person is, how much revenue are you losing? Meaning, how much money are you not getting as a result of not having this person at your company consulting to your clients who are ready to pay you the moment you have this resource? She says about 50, which means $50,000 a month, a $600,000 revenue generating resource. Do you think that and they've been looking for 5 months, that's $250,000 that they did not get as a result of not having a person in the seat. Do you think they care if they have to pay an extra $50,000 for somebody and the job description says it's 180 to 190? So you do not know what's happening behind the scenes. You have to think about that do not assume just because it's published. Actually, let's roll into this one. This is my absolute favorite. This one's terrible. How about Glassdoor told me, or any other site that's related? Let's talk about this. I know a lot of you because I get emails, I get questions, even in my one-on-one coaching, folks ask me about this. Oh, I went on Glassdoor and it looks like this position should pay X. This is a site, mind you, that predominantly has unhappy ex-employees writing stuff on it. It's a site that, by the way, invites any employee input, fictitious or otherwise, or not, or interviewed with, but will not allow an employer to go out and rectify, clarify, erase, eradicate, or anything related to the content that goes on there about them. Do you think employers are spending a lot of time going out there and actually cleaning up inaccurate data? And by the way, something that was posted yesterday, 180 to 190. Well, if I'm willing to pay 260, then you're dealing with inaccurate information. Think about this. Do not pay a lot of attention. Pay this much attention to information you find on those sites. Take it with a grain of salt. Please, please, please. They are terrible, terrible sites as a source of true and accurate information about companies. How about this one? The recruiter told me. The recruiter told me the job pays X. There's not a recruiter in the world, a corporate recruiter in the world, that determines what you ultimately get paid. Now, unless, of course, that he or she is hiring for their own team and they're the hiring official, that's a different story. The recruiter is sharing, if the recruiter shares, that compensation based on what a hiring official told him or her would be the desired target pay going into this process. And they're feeding that to you. And what does it do? It deflates you because it's about what you're earning or used to earn or didn't earn, or you don't think it's a high enough leap or whatever. Don't pay any attention to that stuff. Here's what actually happens. And now a lot of you feel compelled, well, the recruiter's not going to want to work with me if I don't provide an absolute number of what I'm looking for. They keep pressing. They're asking me. She's asked me 2 or 3 times. It does not matter. There's not a recruiter out there who's searching for a position. They want to fill the position. If you have the goods and you have the credentials and you speak nicely and you're a positive person and all that good stuff, that recruiter is going to go to the hiring official and say, I have somebody, I really like her. She didn't want to offer, what she's looking for in the way of expected salary. Maybe they have your salary, maybe they don't. Every single hiring official is going to say to that recruiter, get her in here and we'll sort it out. We'll sort it out as we go. The reason why do they think that? Because they'll slide the scale if they need to. Every hiring official wants to be able to impress you and entice you to come. If you've got the goods, they're going to go into sell mode so that they will figure out how to make the comp work if they truly, truly want you. Here's another little example. I said I was going to tell you a story about this new client that I'm quite excited to work with. About 3-4 weeks ago, I went out to visit this client for the very first time. I met with the chief executive officer and I met with the vice president of customer success. Fantastic people. This happens to be a smaller company. They are trying to grow. They've got a great product. It's a software as a service product, and they're looking for a salesperson. And they had designs on what they thought they were looking for. And initially we had this session, which did not turn into a search because I actually suggested that they try some other things. But we were talking about what it is that they wanted to pay. And they said, well, we think it's a $150,000 target pay. Total all in with commissions and all that good stuff, $150,000. And I was trying to educate them that based on what it was they were looking for, the level of skill that they needed in the person, and don't discount this, the risk profile, meaning as a smaller startup, your risk for somebody coming in is higher. You actually have to pay more because your risk profile is higher. Because your risk profile is higher. You have to consider these things. So we ended up, nice pleasantries. We ended up parting ways. We're going to stay in touch and so on. Now they call me back and they say, okay, we've done some things. We'd like to go in and we'd like you to recruit somebody for us, except now the position is going to pay $250,000. So 60% higher in a couple of weeks, just based on some internal thinking. And here's the funny part though. As they were recruiting salespeople and they were looking for salespeople, the recruiter was sharing with these salespeople, because the salespeople would always ask, what's the OTE, on target earnings? Meaning, if I do everything that you ask me and I hit the quota that I'm supposed to, what will I get paid? And they say 150, which is really silly. But they tell, both sides are wrong in that scenario. But think about that. Think about that. There were people that were interviewing there less than 30 days ago. So when you all are wondering how dynamic some of this stuff is, as a total aside, think about how the game changes, how quickly they now are looking for a completely, they might still be looking for the same resource that they were looking for before, but they're willing to pay $100,000 more. Now all those scenarios I just gave you, and I mean, those are all real-time, recent, varied companies, small companies, medium-sized companies, and large companies. And I know some of you are out there probably looking at me like I'm a nut job, saying, well, Andy, that's really great. These are high-earning positions. In fact, it's harder to do that at the higher levels than it is for somebody making $50,000 a year, where they just have to incrementally raise your compensation $5,000. Now, $5,000 might be a lot of money to you. That's cool. I'm good with that. But think about what that is for a company. That's $2.50 an hour, and they get to deduct it. So there's some additional yield on that. Now for you, that's $2.50 an hour, and you got to take your taxes out. If you're in the US, that's worth about $1.75. So you also have to think about, how important this is. Now, I want you to make sure that you are getting compensation that you are very, very happy with and that you feel you are worth and deserve. But I also want you to have the right context as you approach this. But trust me when I tell you, we've recruited, and I've seen this with all different levels, and I coach all different levels, and we've recruited for various levels. What I am telling you, you can bank on this stuff. You can bank on this stuff in any type of market. And especially now, generally speaking, especially in the US, the market is kind to employees who have great skill sets. So I want you to think about that. As you go in. So, while the heart and thrust of this discussion was about the concepts, the assumptions I don't want you to make, I also want to give you these 3 tips here as you go into the different stages in the process. And I talked about the application, I talked about the screening, and I talked about the pre-offer. I want to talk about what I would suggest in the way of prescribed responses for you to make sure that you can get to the spot where you are fielding an offer, because that will give you more information. So remember, let's go back to, you want more information. When you're in the beginning of the process, you have no information. When you're in the screen, you still have no information. You're just getting a little bit. As you go into the interviewing process, you're getting a little more information about what it's like to work there, who you're going to work with, and all that good stuff, but you still don't know what they're going to pay or what they're willing to pay you. So until you at least get an offer, which is a pretty good sense of where their head is, that's more information, and that's the information you should be shooting for. So here's how I would stall. On the app, on the application, all right, I got this little thing here that says current dollars. On the app, here's what I want you to do. If you get the application, the apps come with a variety of options. If the application has an empty cell and it's not required, just leave it empty. If it's required and it's text, write open or negotiable. And if it is a drop down, okay, so if it says, 30 it's 30,000 to 39,999, then 40,000 to 49,999, and so on and so forth. And you can kind of select the range you're in, or the range that you want, what's your desired salary. Just select your current salary or current comp. Don't worry, no one is going to hold you to it. Bad assumption. Oh, if I put this in here, they're going to think this is what I want. No, they won't. There's not an employer out there who actually believes what you put on those apps, because they have to assess you. What they're really trying to do is really get out or trim out the people that are way on the outer portions. When the job pays 50 and you earn 90, something like that. That's what they're trying to trim out. But don't worry about 10 grand, 20 grand this way or that way. Okay, so that's the application. Then when you get into the screening process, what I want you to do is, okay, when you get into the screening process, I'll explain this, man. I was scribbling these things so fast. When you get into the screening process, this is where you're actually speaking to somebody live. There's kind of two things I want you to anchor on. Part and uneducated. Okay, so in the screening process, the best thing that you can do is say, hey, compensation is important and more is always better. That's great. But it's only part of what I'm interested in working here and or anywhere. I'm looking for the entire package, meaning what I get to do, who I get to do it with, what I'm going to learn, the growth opportunities, the training opportunities. Compensation itself is broken up into many pieces. So at this moment, it's very uneducated for me to give you a number or even a range. But I'm enthusiastic about learning about all those other things. And as we get down to the end, I'll be able to give you a better idea. Just stall. Okay? So, that's what you want to focus on. And that's what you want to keep repeating. Well, give me, I really need a range to start. If they really press you, say, you know what, I'm sure you would give me a fair offer. And if we're right for each other, we'll be able to come to something amenable. Just resist. Don't worry. I don't care if they're screaming or getting red or whatever. What's going to happen is they're going to write down that you didn't want to answer, and then they're going to turn to the hiring official, and the hiring official is going to say, well, I don't care. Get her in here. I don't care. What you could also do, if you feel absolutely compelled and you're sweating and your hands are wet, and then say, if you are in a state, meaning a place, a country, a state, a region, wherever, where it is legal for you to provide your current salary or earnings, you can do that. If they ask you, and just say, well, here's what I'm currently earning, but I would need to see at your place. If you're in a state like California where you can't do that, I wouldn't give them anything. They are not going to kick you out because you did not want to answer a question that they shouldn't even have been asking you to begin with. Okay? So trust me on that one. So in the screen, I want you to resist. But then you're going to go through the process. You're going to wow them. You're going to wow them because you're going to apply all those other principles I gave you about interviewing. And you're going to step up to what I call the pre-offer. This is the part of the process where they say, okay, we're all done, and we would like to give you an offer. What would you like? Can you give us some guidelines? And this is where you need to say, no, I actually am not sure, because even though I know more now, right? I have a better sense. I told you in the beginning that I needed to find out some things. I'm not sure what all the facets of the offer would look like. So to give you a range would still be uneducated. There's healthcare costs and vacation days and all, and even the simplest folks, I'm talking to you here now, even the simplest compensation structures, base salary, even if it's just base salary, there's still other things that you need to consider. And especially now with the wide range of what healthcare costs, you got some companies giving you 1 week vacation and you can't take it until after you're there a year. You got other companies that give you 5 weeks out of the chute. Every week of vacation is worth 2% salary. So you still don't know. So what you need to say is, based on the value that I think based on my performance in the interview and my experience and the value you think I can bring to your organization, make me a fair offer, and then we can speak about it, and then I'll get a better understanding of all the different components, And then if there's any questions or anything I'm uncomfortable with, I'll let you know at that time. And just keep pressing them and let them go and create an offer for you so that you actually have time to think about it. And your friend, your best friend in this whole process is time. Time is your best friend. The more of it that you have to think through, the more intelligent a decision you will make. But when you start spouting off at the mouth, when you're half-cocked and you don't have the right information, you make careless mistakes, and you only get one shot. You only get one shot to create that starting salary. After that, you're in their hands. Well, you're in your own hands because it's based on your performance and promotions and all that good stuff. But you only get one shot to do this. There is nothing wrong with needing a little time to look over the offer, digest it, and then get back to them. Now, I'm not going to go into all the counteroffer tactics and all that stuff. You want all that stuff, you got to join my boot camp. But that's what I want you to do. Time is your friend. Time is your friend, and that will help you think through this. You can look at, kind of the dots on the I's and cross the T's and look at your current package and what's really coming out of your pocket and all that good stuff. But believe me, you will be in much better shape if you do that. So, moral of the story, make sure you do not tell them anything that you expect in the way of salary or overall comp. Let them make the offer. Now, I have a lot of caveats to this, but the thrust of this story is if you are working on your own, you are likely an inexperienced negotiator. You don't have a recruiter that's helping you through the process and being a mediator and all that good stuff. Those are different. I'm talking about you are dealing with the company directly. So that's what I would do, and I would make sure that at those 3 stages, you know how to stall. Obviously, you can rewind this, watch the replay, and all that good stuff. I would highly recommend watching the video on how to best answer what's my expected salary, why you don't get paid what you deserve. That's a live office hours session. And also there's a video I shot a while back on how to negotiate your salary after you get the job offer. So I hope you like that. If you do, click the like button on the video. Share this. We're going to spend a lot more time here because I'm gonna talk to you about the boot camp here for a second, and then I want to get into the Q&A. And if you will indulge me, I am going to swap over. And now this boot camp, I really appreciate. I've been getting a lot of questions. Great questions over the course of the last couple days as you guys have been emailing me and asking me about this. I hope some of this is going to, and I'm going to try to clarify some of those questions. I've emailed back everybody who's emailed me about this. But let me just show you some people who've been through this. Cassie was somebody very, very senior resource who was out of work earlier in the year and joined the boot camp and went from like 0 through the boot camp, out the boot camp, to a new job that was, and I think she posted this on one of the live office hours sessions, $30,000 to $50,000 pay increase depending on how her bonus pans out. So, I mean, what a great story. Scholastica's a lawyer. She quit her job, joined the boot camp, in the sequence, quit her job, joined the boot camp, binge watched it, got some interviews, took a job with a substantial pay increase, all within less than 30 days. Kyle was a master's student who joined the boot camp looking for support to find an internship, 200 times ROI, because he ultimately took a full-time job, and then they're going to let him finish out his master's. Mark Peckney, project management resource. He was looking for almost a year, not really full tilt. He had reached out to me and said, "Hey, I'm getting some interviews, but I'm really reflecting on my performance in the interviews. I need some help. I love the fact that the bootcamp has an overall framework. It's an end-to-end. He got in, crushed it. Actually, I sent you a little case study on him the other day. Actually, if you were on my email list, you probably got that. He earned an extra $44,000. And Kathy, this is a woman, and I'm trying to give you a little different scenarios here. She was from Europe, moved to San Francisco in the U.S. with her husband. She was a business owner, and so basically was a entrepreneur, came here, had no job, has a family in a very expensive part of the United States. She said, I was looking for some coaches and people to help me, and everybody was telling me I was nuts, that there was no way I was going to get a good job paying near what I was earning. Turns out she joined the boot camp. Within 7 weeks, had 3 offers and ended up taking one with Deloitte Consulting. So, I mean, and here's, these folks, more recently, Dave, I love his testimonial about just, he's a technologist, the confidence it gave him. And just to perform well in those interviews. Mike is a teacher, is in education, but the boot camp helped him clarify what it was that really drove his happiness. He altered his focus, or he gathered his focus, altered his direction, and ultimately took a job while in the same field in a completely different capacity. But he said the boot camp gave him the confidence to do that. Larry was midstream in the process. He actually was interviewing and said, I want to jump in and I want to get all the interviewing stuff and all that good stuff. This guy ended up getting a $25K increase plus 15% on top. So imagine what for $500, this is what, $30,000 plus in a short period of time. Stephanie is in her early 50s in the gerontology space. She's getting above market pay. And Jeff, he was, I think he's 54, and he was out of work for a long time, joined the boot camp, was doing everything he needed to do, but was able to surface the right opportunity with Cerner, and he's got just a great role right now. So let me run you through really quick what this program looks like, and I'm going to try to answer some of the questions that you guys had over the course of the week. So this is the page, so you can see it ends today. It is 7 sessions. It really, while this page says 5 modules, it's got 5 modules in the base program, and I'm going to walk you through those in a second. But I wanted to package it in a manageable number of steps. So it is a boot camp style, and I named it boot camp because it's like a boot camp. It's like a crash course. But it's easy for you to find what you need because I broke it up into 5 major sections. You got all the tools, all the templates, all the support. You get not only lifetime access to the program and lifetime support, but this is something I think I failed to mention the other day. You get to come back to all the boot camp sessions. So, we had some people that I think joined in the July session. It was summertime. They wanted to get in on that program. And maybe they were, kind of going at half capacity. It was summertime, there were vacations, and now they're a little more serious about, getting into their job search. Well, they can come to the October sessions. So you get to come back as much as you want to all the sessions. Here's what they are. The first session starting is all about your focus. I know a lot of us, we think we know ourselves, but there's a huge difference between getting your pitch down, getting your clarity marker, identifying your why, testing it, identifying all your needs down to the lowest level, and identifying the specific questions that you are going to ask the employers that are mapped back to the things that drive your happiness, so there are no gaps, no assumptions in your decision-making process. The more assumptions, we just talked about this in the salary negotiation program here, that there are a lot of assumptions that lead to poor decisions. This makes sure that you don't do that. Then we go into all the marketing stuff. That's the resume, the cover letters, the LinkedIn profile. That's an awesome course, or that's an awesome session. People who are in the program are not only going to get that session, but they're going to get a bonus session that I'll talk about in a second. The third portion is on the hunt itself and all the searching. Now, as part of this live event, we went through networking. But networking is only one of 6 major facets of the job search itself. So you're going to get coverage on all the other different techniques. We're going to optimize your plans according to who you are, what you are, how much you earn, and all that good stuff so that you're doing the right activities that lead to success. Session 4 is all about interviewing. Session 5 is not just about the salary negotiation. It is like what we went through today on steroids, where I focus on every step throughout the process, what it is that you need to do. So I give you all my techniques, all my tactics, all the psychology behind that, and what to do at every step of the way so that when you get to the negotiation, you know what to do, how to counteroffer, and all that good stuff. But really, I mean, the reason I attribute so much success to this program, and yes, it's that I have deep experience and I've laid it out for you, but the strategy is there. You will have a strategy. You won't just have the strategy, you'll have the process and the structure. You'll know, do this first, do that second, and so on. And when you're doing the right steps in the right order, in the right capacity, the right way, that's what leads to speed. And then we are here for you. So it's not just me or Kara, but the entire community, because you also get some other goodies. There's me. You can listen to the video if you want. I walk you through it. It is self-paced. I did get a question this morning from somebody was asking, is it recorded already? It is all recorded already. If you enroll this minute, you can watch the whole thing right now. What some people have done, which I think is really worked out well, is they've gotten in between the live sessions, and then they watch it, and then they come to the program, and then they get the repetition, and they get to ask all their questions that they already sketched out as a result of going through the training. So, but you could do it at your own pace. It is on the go, so you can download the templates, you can download the audio. There's a lot of stuff there that you can take with you. It's all video and audio. You do get the ongoing coaching, you get the Facebook group, you get ongoing support for life. So as long as you need help, you just go into any of the videos or any of the places inside the Mile Walk Academy and ask me your questions forever and ever. So there's no ongoing cost for that. And then this is the schedule. So we start tomorrow, and then it's Tuesday and Thursday, and then Tuesday and Thursday. I kind of mix the times up a little because we do have quite an extensive international audience. So I needed to do it at some reasonable time of the day for those people as well. But you can see that here. You do get if you miss the sessions, you get the recordings pretty much right away. I mean, they're either that day or the next morning when I put them out there. But it's real easy for us to do that. And then this time, what I wanted to do, being that we were heading into the end of the year, I wanted to make sure that I taught the material early enough so that as you get into later in the year, and this thing wraps up, in the early November. A lot of times there's a lot of action at the end of the year with employers trying to get ready for those January hires. So what I wanted to do is get you the 5 sessions early and then have a couple of really neat bonus sessions. You can call them maintenance sessions or whatever, but we're going to go into new content on the resume. I'm going to show you all the examples. We're gonna talk about all the nuances. We're gonna pick up all the little niche scenarios there. So resume Q&A, but really additional Q&A for the boot campers. And then in December, I'm gonna talk about what are the tactics you should be doing in December. And then in early January to make sure that your resume is on the top of the pile. It's timely. Employers are hiring. That is when they are hiring. So you don't want to miss this wave in January and February when they're bringing in the new people because they have new budgets, new dollars, new projects, new inspirations, and so on. And then I also, with this package, you're getting 12 months of my monthly coaching. So this is a separate program that people pay $19 a month to attend. I talk about career development stuff. We talk about productivity and organizational stuff. And then some of it is related to job searching, which you obviously get a lot of in the courses. But those are also Q&As and Ask Me Anythings and those kind of things. But it's a private group. And then the three prices. So the thing to know here is the boot camp is available at any time, any day throughout the year for $597. We have various packages and bonuses that come and go, but it's $597. Right now, the important thing about getting in today is you get $100 off the base program but you also get the 7-session program. You also get the live sessions right away. So those are the drivers and the impetus to try to get in today. You can also add on a detailed resume review where I do the track changes and all that good stuff, line by line, word by word, colon by colon, semicolon by semicolon, period by period. All that stuff, I will work it for you. I will edit it. After I teach you how to write it, you draft it, you send it to me. Or you can also add a coaching session as well, or you can have the boot camp and a coaching session for $9.97. So there's some mixing and matching. And if you're not sure, you can always email me. You do get everything in the Mile Walk Academy and access to all the other programs with the bite-sized videos. I got tons and tons of testimonials. If you are wondering if anybody like you has gone through the program that's your age, in your field, or whatever, you can email me, because I can show you these people and who they are. We've got people from a variety of levels in a variety of professions, and I've got a lot of testimonials that I haven't even put up on the board yet. So a lot of these are out there. I also, this is important, I offer literally a no hassle guarantee. If you do not like this program for whatever reason, you don't have to put your resume together and send it out to 100 places and not get callback and this and that. You don't like it, you email me, I give your money back. Not only am I so confident in the material itself and that if you put the time and the effort into doing it, you will get the results, but I also have a reputation and a trust factor that I want out there in the world. And so I'm not gonna hold back your money. If you're unhappy, I'm just gonna give it back to you. And there's also a trade up program. So if you currently own one of those $297 programs, you want to upgrade to the boot camp in this package, you can get in for $200. And also I even have, I used to get so many emails from people that said, Andy, I wish I would have found you sooner. I bought so-and-so's resume course, or I had my resume written and it's terrible, or I took so-and-so's interviewing course and I'm tapped out, I don't have money. If that's the case, and it's been within the last 2 months, I will give you a dollar for dollar credit. I will eat those dollars for that other trainer not giving you the level of service or the level of quality in their product. That's how much I believe in this program. It's up to a $197 credit, but you are welcome to it, and you get all the bonuses in the package. All the bonuses in the package. And then if you have any questions, you can also check out the page. These things expand and you can open them. We've got this little accordion here at the bottom, but it's really, really a nice program. We've been having a ton of fun in it. I know we even have a number of the boot campers who make, the live sessions. Some of them are in here. I saw them in here. Maybe they can share some of their experience. I saw Vicky Salazar was here, I don't know, the other day, 53, said she would, was out of work, didn't ever think she could find a job she loved. And she's, now a boot camper for life. I love that. We've got a lot of those. We've got a lot of those stories. So I hope that helps. I love doing it. It's a lot of fun. Job searching absolutely sucks. It absolutely sucks. It's lonely. It's stressful. Not just on you, but on your family and everybody. And so this is my effort to make it fun, enjoyable, and not only do I think you'll be successful, I think you're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to make it is a community, so you're part of a community, so it won't be so lonely. You will learn a lot about yourself, and you're going to learn a lot about being a professional, and a lot that you can apply for the rest of your life. The principles that I teach, they're foundationally based. You will grow. You will grow. This is the best $497 insurance policy you can ever buy related to your career, because you get to come back as much as you want, and you can ask me as much as you want for as long as you want. So I hope that helps. I hope you're loving this. I want to go to the chat and see who's here. We still got a bunch of people, about 100 people left. So some people left on my sale, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. Kara, how we doing? Wait, I see the little bubble going. She says, I don't know if the video was hanging for anybody. Hopefully it's not. By the way, if the video ever does hang, refresh the page. All right, who's here? Connie Cotter is a boot camp. We love her. The only thing wrong with Connie is she's a Green Bay Packers fan, and that damn Aaron Rodgers is really driving me nuts. Okay, but Connie, you know we love you. Although I'm going to wear my Bears jerseys for every boot camp session. Okay, Charles Dare is a boot camper. How are you, buddy? Hey, this is pretty funny. I don't know if you guys think this. I don't know if you guys are with me live or if you watch this stuff on a replay. But I get a few emails every week from people saying that they couldn't access the chat box. And Charles, this yesterday, because he thought I was live, because it literally felt so live. And wait, Charles, does this make you feel any better? One time I showed up for a live session that wasn't even scheduled, and I didn't know it. I actually thought I had a live session, and I didn't. So trust me, it's not just you. Rosemary Hall's a boot camper. How are you doing? Manisha, great to see you. Gary, hope you're well. Timo, how are you? Shanghai, nice. Danny's a boot camper. Look at this, man. It's by the way, this I do want to say, not that anybody has asked me this. This boot camp is great. You got the 5 sessions and the extra sessions, and you got all the stuff and all the support. And you might notice, for those of you that are contemplating it, that you see some boot campers here. I do the same thing with the training I buy from trainers. When they do live sessions, I go because number 1, it's great repetition. Number 2, I don't always say the same things the same way. You often hear it differently in these public free sessions. And the other thing is, sometimes as days go on, I also think of new things to tell you. And some of this is new. So it's really a great reinforcement. And I do that with the trainers that I follow, and I love it. So, the more the better. And here again, it's also part of the community, and they got the Facebook groups and all that good stuff. So Greg King, great to see you. Dr. Dermick's girl, good morning. Maya's a boot camper. Great to see you. John made it on time. Great to see you. Yes, Connie's a boot camper. All right. Michelle's daughter, hey. Maya, hey. Mirtha, hey. Shafika, hey. Carrie Day is a boot camper. Hey, Carrie, great to see you. Hopefully you're going to be at the sessions. Dr. Dermix, we have a question. Okay. Kara, let me know. I think that is the first question. Oh, wait. One other thing I forgot to tell you before I get to the questions. If you join, folks, I can't believe I forgot to tell you this. So you saw that the boot camp is $497, and then the resume reviews, where I go in and I do all the track changes and all that stuff, is $997. That's $500 more. If you get into this boot camp, I am giving away not resume reviews, but resume feedback. So what that is you will go through the process. You'll attend the session. There's one tomorrow. Then the resume one's on Tuesday. And then you draft your resume with the templates and everything that I give you. If you send it to me, even for $497, I will review it. I'll read it all. I'll go through it, and then I will give you some feedback. I won't edit it, because that takes me a lot of time. Those are very valuable, but they take me a lot of time. It is worth the extra $500, but I know that that's also expensive. So if you don't have that kind of money and you want to get in the boot camp and you want me to put my eyeballs on your resume, and then what I will do is I will go inside the document, and then I'll either make a few comments, ask you some questions, tell you to clarify, tell you to adjust or whatever, or I'll create an audio, whatever I need to do to get that feedback to you. I will do that. That's an extra bonus that you get, and everybody in this package gets that. So anybody who's enrolled since September 28th, since I did the resume writing class, because I offered it there, and they got in, a whole bunch of people got in at that time, and everybody who's gotten in since, and anybody who gets in today, if tonight at 12:01 a.m. Pacific time, that expires, and we change the price and all that good stuff. So I just wanted you to know that. I forgot to tell you that. I thought that was kind of a nice thing. By the way, I actually love looking at your resumes. And the reason, I know that might sound ridiculous, but it tells me about you, and it helps me learn you and coach you better. And I like to give you a little extra. And it also there's a little bit of a proud moment there for me to see what my teaching and how it has helped you. That is valuable to me, and I get something out of that. So if you're wondering how I could be that generous or why I would take that time or whatever, I don't do anything ever that, I always feel rewarded. And sometimes it's in the service itself, and sometimes I get information, and sometimes it's just to see it. And that's valuable to me. So the live office hours every week when we do this stuff and all the time that I spend with you guys is valuable to me too, because you make me a better teacher. I appreciate that. I did get a boot camp question here, and Diana, you know what? I do not finance the boot camp. I do not finance it. And I hope you appreciate that. We used to, and people were taking advantage of that. They were not paying, they were not continuing with their payments, and we had to stop that. What you can do is what a lot of times, actually like 33% of you get in for the $497, and then you see all the value and all that other stuff, and then you start buying other things like the coaching session. I don't sell you, by the way. You are not going to get you're not getting a lot of emails from me. When you're in the boot camp, you don't get upsells. I mean, I have a one-on-one coaching program. You can take advantage of that. There's a resume review. You can take advantage of that. That there's a coaching session you can take advantage of that. I'm not going to pepper you, and I'm not going to inundate you. You got enough on your plate to get through the program. So, but that's a lot of, actually about 1 in 3 people then go and buy up. Some people go right at it, 1,500, bang, they're in, and they know they got it all. But others usually graduate that way. But we don't finance the $497. So I hope you understand that. Or I hope you understand why that is. All right, Dr. Dermix, let's roll. This is awesome, and I want to thank you for, number one, starting us off, and number two, it's on the topic we were talking about today. So Dr. Dermix Girl asked, just got a verbal offer with Johnson & Johnson this past Friday. Congratulations. Can we all give her a congratulations? Still waiting on the written offer. Is it typical for this to take several days? Anything I can do in the interim? So I can tell you this. While I can't say, is it typical, because it is not typical. It is not typical that companies wait. This is this is 6 days or 6 calendar days, 4 work days. However, it could happen for any number of reasons. There might be somebody who needs to sign the offer that they can't get a hold of. There might be whatever. The one thing that I watch out for, and Dr. Dermix and anybody else, you can always ask, where are we as far as getting that done? Is there any insight into when it might be, if there, what the holdup is, or is there anything else from me that you need? Now, so here's me, pro career guy. If I got an offer on Friday, verbal, I would say, great. Just to manage my expectation, when will I receive the written offer? They should be able to tell you. Then I would wait to that day. If they do not tell you, they should give you a guideline. It should be Monday or Tuesday next week. It should be Tuesday or Wednesday next week. It should be something like that, because this is very important. Believe me, these offers, these are boilerplate things in most people's cases. So they should be able to take a template and fill it in. So if the date that they targeted came and went, I would wait a day, depending on how long it is. So if they say, if it's Friday and they say Monday, and Monday doesn't come, by the end of Tuesday, I would email them. If they say Tuesday or Wednesday, I'd wait till the end of Thursday. You know what I mean? And that's okay, because you are down to the wire. That's not being pesky, okay? Then what I would say is, hey, I'm wondering if there's any update. And by the way, is there anything else you need from me? Just make it positive, like you're offering. That's what I would do. I do not know. Every scenario is different. What a lot of times, when we're negotiating on behalf of a candidate of ours, get the verbal, get the broad strokes. The information is discussed and soft sold, we call it. Basically, we discuss it. We get an idea. I work with the candidate. Then what we do is we make sure that everything's kind of in order. And then the paperwork comes. And then when the paperwork comes, a lot of times what will happen is we'll either meet in person, or if that's not logistically easy enough to do, they'll do it on the phone. But the paperwork will be sent in advance. It will usually emailed nowadays. It used to be FedExed or UPSed or whatever. But they'll send it in advance. And then the HR person or the recruiter or the hiring official and my candidate or the just job seeker will discuss it. And that's how it will go. And then there's any questions, counter offering, and all that good stuff can occur at that discussion or at the next discussion. But there shouldn't be many discussions. So I hope that helps. But I would, at this point, if you do not know, or if they've not given you a date, I would actually email them the minute we get off this session, and I would ask them what's the status. Okay. All right. Sue from Arizona. Sue is a boot camper. Danny's a boot camper. Celeste, how do we make you a boot camper? Hey, everyone. Nick McKay, how you doing, buddy? We know Nick. Keith, good to see you, man. Syed, you need the Job Search Boot Camp. Folks, I get all kinds of questions about, will this help me? It will help you. It will help you. You might think you have one little issue, and then when you look at everything, you will see how connected everything is. And the other thing is, you got this for life. The career development aspects. There are other things that you're going to get out of the ongoing coaching for a year. We go into stuff about what to do in your first 90 days. How do you already prepare for your promotion on your first day on the job? All this stuff is in there in the ongoing coaching that I give you. So it's not just the boot camp itself. We're going to get you the job. And then how do we grow you? You get access to all that stuff. And I will point you into the right direction. And it's really, really, really great, really fun. But we've got a lot of people in the boot camp. We've got all demographics, but we've got a lot of people in their 40s and 50s and 60s. So it really, if you are one of those folks that is just later in your career and you hit a snag, we got a lot of people like that. Zayed, I don't know what your demographic is, but Kyle was 25. We got some other guys are just getting out of school. We got another guy who's 25 is an engineer, and I mean he just joined. So we got a lot of different demographics. Camilo from Colombia, how are you? You're working in a bilingual call center and you're preparing yourself. What do you recommend for a good interview? Assuming you are talking about interviewing help, folks, I don't know if you know this. The first place that I would go for interviewing help, there's 3 places I'm gonna point you. Number 1, I haven't done it. No live session would be good without it. Camilla, first thing is, and we send this to Colombia and wherever you are, it's free. It's $29, $7 shipping and handling. You get the eBook right away and the audiobook right away, and a bonus book on how to interview the employer, 75 great questions to ask before you take any job. This is all free. It's just $7 shipping and handling. That's it. Get this. I also have a webinar called 3 Keys to Ace Any Job Interview. It's a solid hour. It's a solid hour of teaching. I mean, it's good. And I would try that. I give you a workbook and all that good stuff. And then on my YouTube channel, I have an entire interview playlist. So I don't know if I don't know how many of you are, hopefully you are subscribed to my YouTube channel. If you go to the front page, you've got sections, you've got like recent uploads or whatever, and then you've got sections. So there's, popular uploads, so like my most popularly watched videos. But then I go into all of the playlists. So there's the live office hours playlists, there's the resume writing playlists, there's the job interviewing playlist, there's the cover letter playlist, and so on. So all the videos that I've shot that are related to each of those sections, you go watch that interviewing playlist. I think you'll really enjoy it. But that's where I would send you. So hope that helps. Mirtha, good day to you. Kristen is a boot camper. Hey, negotiating a contract offer tomorrow. Yes. All right, that's awesome. So I'm dancing to the beat today, and it was timely. Don't think there's any wiggle room. I need to take it. Any advice on negotiating? Yes. Some contracts turn into full-time. Have you lost negotiating? So wait, a contract, sorry. Okay, wait, sorry. Let me go back. Kristen, I got it. When I saw contract, I thought you meant employment contract. Okay, so this is a great one. I'm going to give you a couple points here. All right, so Kristen is saying she's negotiating an offer to be a contractor. She doesn't think that there's any wiggle room. That's my term. I love that terminology. Is there any wiggle room to know if there's any accommodations that they could make? Let's say there isn't. That's okay. She needs to take it. Any advice on negotiating? The first thing that I would do is I would ask if there's wiggle room, and I would try to make it so that there are some conditions set. Now, you didn't mention how long the contract is for. It could be for 90 days. It could be for a year. It could be for 18 months. I'd want to know that. And then this appears to be a contract to hire capacity, so it could turn into full-time. So have you lost negotiating? No. So here's what I would do. And we get this a lot, where some of you folks, you're fairly senior, you've been working for a while, you've got a lot of great experience, and an employer wants to bring you in as a contractor. My recommendation, in assuming that you want to take the contract and you need to take the contract. If you don't need to take the contract and you want a full-time job, then keep looking. But for Kristen's sake, it sounds like she needs to take it. So if you're like her, and you are, Kristen, right? Take it. I would negotiate as best I could through the principles that I gave you in the boot camp. Then what I would do is I would work my butt off. In the first week as a contractor, where there is potential to become a full-time employee, I would go to my boss and I would say, I really am excited about the opportunity to work here. I would like to become a full-time employee, if you would. And what is it, by 90 days, let's just say it's a 90-day contract. Within 90 days, what will I need to accomplish for you to want to hire me? How will I be measured? And I would like weekly check-ins with you to make sure my outputs are, on point, right? Because you want frequent communication early on. And you want to know what success looks like, and you want to know the barometer for becoming a full-time employee. Okay? Now, you may not want to work there. That's okay, but I would still do that. Then what I would do is I would continue to look. I know you're going to be working and you want to work hard, but nights and weekends I would still spend looking for a full-time role. If you get a full-time role, within the 90 days or however long it is, and you like that role and you're not sure which one you want, if you want your contract to become full-time or you want this other one, then I would start discussing with the contract company, hey, I've got an offer. So I'm going to take that, or I would like to entertain the possibility of working here if we can convert me or whatever. Either which way. Then you choose. If you don't get an offer and the contract is nearing its end, that's when you need to position yourself based on your performance to renegotiate and negotiate your starting salary. There is no better interview than you working as a contractor for an employer, because now I can see what you bring to the table. Now I know how valuable it is. So you have not lost negotiating power. In fact, I think you will have amped it up, and I would continue to look. And you might find, we hear this a lot. I'm struggling. I can't find anything. I get a contract. I take it. And then all of a sudden you get like 3 offers. I'm hoping that for you, Kristen. I really am. But no, that's what I would do. So for all of you out there, there's nothing wrong with taking a contract. And when you continue to search, you are in a better position because you are now contracting. Because you got money coming in, right? Maybe you like that company. So it's better to be a contractor than it is to be unemployed if you're okay with that, if you're okay with being a contractor. So that's what I would do. I hope that helps. Madison Joseph, great to see you. Jamie Green from Australia. Davida, how are you? From Houston. Daniel Gomez from Orlando, Florida via Perth, Australia. I love it. Wendy, great to see you. She's a boot camper. Carrie Day, here's a question. Okay, I'm going to read all these. I just wanted to make sure those all went together. So let me try to siphon out what we need and what we don't. All right, Carrie's question is, the shareholder vote is next Wednesday with a scheduled close for Friday, so it's about a week out. I've been approached by a senior vice president to help with the transition, which receives an additional retention bonus on top of the so there's bonuses on top of bonuses if Carrie stays with her company who's being acquired. She said they wanted to make sure I stay beyond the acquisition and even asked what I would like to do with the company. Awesome. Would it be considered bad form to ask for a higher salary or to even become bonus eligible? No. Yes, you need to ask for a higher salary. You know why? Because you have the most negotiating power you are ever going to have. So for those of you, Carrie, yes, ask for a higher salary and a bonus. Retention bonuses are just that. They are one-shot deals for you to stay for a finite period of time, and oftentimes they are an immense amount of money to you and like nothing to the company, because somebody who is in the acquired company, so somebody who's working in an organization that's acquired by another organization, is incredibly valuable to make the transition and the knowledge transfer and any of that other stuff go smoothly. If somebody is, the reason retention bonuses are given are because we need you to stay, because if you leave, nobody has working knowledge of what we do there. So that's why they give you those bonuses. Now, this is also a phenomenal time for you to position yourself for long-term growth with the company. And the nice thing is, and I know you want to make a career change because you're in the boot camp, and I know this. And so as you've tinkered with different paths to take, here again, I always say when you're going to make a career change, the nice thing is to try to, if you can afford to, only change so many variables at once. So if you could stay within a company that you're in and reroute yourself, that's always the best, because that's the easiest transition, because you know the people, you know the company, you know the political environment, you know all that good stuff, and you've got a good reputation, and they're going to be a lot more patient with you as you go through your learning curve. But for you, remember, now is the time to ask, because they don't want to lose you. So if you can position yourself to collect those bonuses, that's a totally separate thing that has nothing to do with your salary, okay? And you need to treat it that way. That those retention bonuses are just retention bonuses. Those are like they're like not even there. They're like not even there. And so you want to focus on, here's what I want to do, here's what I want to get paid. And if you, now here again, on the other side of the equation, if this is a great and luxurious opportunity for you to make that career change or go down a different path, and it's safe for you, and you don't need much more money, and hopefully they're not going to give you a pay cut and any of that good stuff, that's okay, because they're taking a chance on you and they're giving you a chance to do some other stuff. Now it's a low risk on their end and it's low risk on your end, but that's totally okay. But if it's me, I would always ask, and and do it effectively, do it according to the principles I've taught you in the boot camp. And I think you'll be great. I would not even consider those retention bonuses as part of my thinking in this case. Those retention bonuses serve the company another purpose. So that's what I would do. I would ask for the higher salary. I would ask for bonus on top of that. I would ask for anything I could possibly ask for, because you, Carrie Day, are worth it. Okay, hope that helps. Sam, how you doing? Karina, how are you? Got your email. All right, what if you're getting promoted within? They are offering an amount higher than what you earn, but it's not enough, okay? It feels like they're doing you a favor promoting you, so I can't ask for more. Karina, and everybody else, they are doing you a favor? Yes. They are doing you a service because you kicked butt and deserve that promotion. Yes. So you can always ask. And, I can't stand when companies do this. Karina, this is not about you, but just companies in general. Hey, here's your promotion, but you get no pay increase. Here's your increase in responsibility, but you don't get any more dollars to accommodate for that. I don't understand that. So you should ask them for more money. And by the way, for those of you who have not seen my Career Achievements Journal or the video that is titled, oh God, I had some cheeky name for this one, but How to Get Promoted Using This Resume Building Tool. Actually, that's the title. And the Career Achievements Journal. Or you could just Google LaCivita Career Achievements Journal. You will find a journal that I want you to keep as an employee, which collects information, 14 of the most important aspects of each project that you do in your life. It's not that laborious, but it's great for you to have that information, to recollect it, and to use it at the time of promotion to discuss the value you contributed so they will pay you what you deserve. So check that out. Maybe Kara, if you could if you got the Career Achievements Journal, you drop it in the, just drop the download right in the chat. But Karina, grab that if you don't have it. Gary Madron, my man, how you doing? Andrew, how you doing? All right. Yeah, Andrew, please don't put too much stock in that Glassdoor stuff. Zayed, I don't know how long the session is. I keep rolling. I do have stuff I have to do in the afternoon, but I'm just gonna keep going. And do you I know. Wait, Carolyn R. All right. Hi, Andrew. Do you have clients in Los Angeles looking to hire HR professionals? So, Carolyn, you're asking me on the recruitment side. So, folks, Carolyn obviously got this. I have two companies that I run. Actually, I have 3 companies that I run. But I have 2 companies that you know about. Mile Walk Inc. is my recruitment firm. That's a business-to-business services company. And we are recruiters for organizations nationwide, mostly domestic. Some of these are international companies, but we always do domestic recruitment. We do not, Carolyn, have companies looking for HR people in California. And then the Mile Walk Academy is the part of the company that you all are a part of, or at least part of the community that the Mile Walk Academy focuses on, which is my online training and coaching programs, where I do individual coaching. We have the training programs like the boot camp. We have the ongoing monthly membership like the Career Coach Casts. That's the $19 a month thing. But that is, that's that side of the equation. By the way, I didn't know if I was going to mention this or not, and I think I will, just in case, because I have gotten some questions, and I know somebody on here asked if we finance the boot camp. If you love this stuff, because I get a lot of emails, hey, I love your stuff, I just can't afford the $500. I have got a slimmed down version it's a skeleton of the boot camp that includes the resume portion and the interviewing portion. So there's the marketing session 2, which includes the resume writing, all the templates and all that stuff, the cover letters, the LinkedIn profile. And I have a course that's related to that as well called Build Your Ultimate Professional Resume workshop. And then I have the interview session of the boot camp. That's the 4th session. That's everything related to interviewing. And then I have the interview intervention course that supports that. It's got a whole bunch of videos and all that good stuff. If normally those courses each are $300, but the boot camp is about $500. But there's obviously a volume discount with joining the boot camp. So I want to make it enticing for you because I want to give you the whole framework. But if you truly cannot swing the whole thing, but want some of the boot camp and some of its benefits and all that good stuff, I can give you a 2-for-1 for $297. I can get you into the resume writing session and the interviewing session and give you some ongoing coaching too. Maybe we can cut that in half, like maybe 6 months instead of 12 for $300. If you are interested in that, you can email me at support@milewalk.com, and either I will respond or Kara will respond, and we will send you a link which is private to that special, because that's not a promotion we're running right now. But I get a lot of these, and I want to do whatever I can to help you. I need to be reasonable. I need to run my business, but I genuinely want to help you. And I realize not everybody can swing the $497, but I realize that a lot of people would like the coaching. So you can come to the session, the second session of the boot camp and the fourth. So not all 5, but you can kind of come to the ones that are relevant to those two programs. And then you can come in November to the extra resume one. So it's kind of a nice deal, for almost $300. But you just email support@milewalk.com and we can kind of walk you through that. So I hope that helped. All right, Sam. Should I set top-end salary based on what I devise my value, then bracket down? No. Okay, hold on. So, Sam's great question. The question is, should I set a top-end salary based on what I devise my value to be, and then bracket down 5 to 10% less during negotiations? So I would never go into a negotiation and want to split the difference. I would go into a negotiation and think, I want to get out of it what I want to get out of it, and I want to make sure that it's a win-win for both of us, but I would hold firm on what it is you truly want. If you want what you think your top end is minus 10%, then you need to get there. I would just get to where you want to go. I'm not big on, hey, when I really want 150, I'm going to just tell you 160 just so that I can end up at 150. That's not the way I approach it. I also think it's a little bit, I don't know, to me, and it may sound kind of weird. I don't like and I'm not saying, Sam, by the way, I'm not calling you dishonest. I think there's just a little bit of a dishonest element to, hey, I'm giving you this number when I'm really willing to accept that number. It's like, what I'm a fan of is, this is the number, and here's why this is the number. And if my number's 160, my number's 160, and here's why. And if they say, well, we can only afford 150, then I would say, okay, then I'll see you later. If they say, well, you need to justify why, not shoot over and then just drop down. Dropping down is the absolute last thing that you should do. I want you to be realistic on the one hand. I also want you to remember what I said about $5,000. $5,000 is, think about this, it's $2.50 an hour before taxes. It's about $1.75. Is it worth, holding your ground or stressing out over that? Maybe yes, maybe no, but most people's cases is probably not, because you're going to make that up on the back end and you're going to do well and they're going to promote you and all that good stuff. But I would shoot for what I want. I don't overshoot and then come down. That's not the way I negotiate. But I don't even think that way because I don't know if you're a golfer, but when people say, well, I'm just trying to aim for a 3-foot circle around the hole, I got a long putt, I just want to get it within 3 feet. When you do that, when you want to try to get it within 3 feet of the circle, you usually get it within 6 feet. So go at the hole, you get it in, try to make the putt, go right at the number. That's what I would do. Hey, Don. Don's Boot Camper. New Boot Camper. Love having you, buddy. Jan, good to see you. Jan, I don't know if you were here when I mentioned it. Jan is asking, what do you enter on a company's job site when it asks for salary levels and they do require a number to be entered? Enter your current salary. Don't worry, you'll hash it out later. All you need to say in the screen is, I just entered about what I earn now. But I'm open, it's negotiable. And then use the script I gave you in the screen, and then use the script I gave you in the pre-offer. All right, hope that helps. Nick Del Pino, considering a job unrelated to the role I want that pays considerably less than my previous salary, and you're doing that just to stay afloat, okay? Worried will make it harder to get a role I want and back to the previous salary. Yes, my thoughts are that could be. However, while that might be the case, if you now, and I know people ask me this a lot, and I give you my suggestions and my guidance and my opinion based on my experience, but I also have an environment around me and my personal situation that I have to consider, as do you. So if you said to me, well, Andy, I need to take this job because I have to feed my kid, or I got to pay the tuition, or the dog isn't going to get the dog food or whatever, oh, my dogs, then you got to do it. I would go and tend bar if I had to feed my dogs. Okay, like that's what I would do. And then when you are going to re-enter, and you are going to go back and you're going to try to get back in that role, then I would rather you just say to me as a hirer, you know what, Andy, I did what I had to do to make ends meet, and I'm back at it now. I'm diving back in, or I took the job tending bar, and I kept looking, and I sharpened my skills, and I went and got my certifications, and I did this and that, and I'm going back. I'm still on the hunt. That's fine. And then honestly, in my experience, and we've had this with people, candidates we recruited. They will pay what value they believe you can contribute based on how well you perform, the experience you bring, the stories you tell, and so on. How much they love you. So that's what I would do. But yes, of course it can complicate it, but I think it's surmountable. I hope that helped. All right. Let me see. John, hey, Kara, I lost the audio. I'm wondering if. Okay, I'm trying to. I think Kara is handling some of that. Cool. May, you never have to apologize about being late. You know what, you guys, I got to tell you this. You guys are like family to me. You never have to apologize. The fact that you guys come here at any moment and spend any time, I want to digress for 1 second. I don't think I say this enough, but I want to say it right now. The fact that you're here, I don't care if you're in the boot camp, I don't care if you're in my interview intervention team, I don't care if you're in the Mile Academy. The fact that you are here with me now, today, right now, this moment, if you are here with me, or you're watching this on a recording, means the world to me. This is not cliche. Your attention and your time is the most precious thing that you can ever give me. And the fact that you are here with me means the world. And I know this, that there are a million trainers out there that do what I do, that try to teach you what I teach, and I know a lot of them have many more followers or more visible or whatever. The fact that you're here with me means the world to me. You never need to apologize about being late. By the way, one other little story, and I told a little story on Saturday when we were at the second session about the Huffington Post. I want to tell you one other thing about how I look at YouTube and all of this stuff and the people that are here. Actually, there's a whole bunch of you still here. I'm so thankful that I got this perspective this early on in my video shooting career. It's a couple years ago, I was at a seminar, 4-day seminar. And somewhere in the middle of those 4 days, day and night, somewhere in the middle of those 4 days, the speaker was on the stage and he was talking about, this is about marketing and building a community and all that good stuff. And there's a woman in the audience, and I had only been shooting videos for 2 months. So I'd put out a few, and I was just starting to get going. And she said something about how frustrating it was that only 100 people viewed her video, and that it was very deflating when you're not getting traction. And the speaker jumped off the stage and went into like the first 3 rows and said, "Okay, everybody here from me to the front, stand up." And everybody stood up. Now I was sitting far in the back. I couldn't get those good seats. And I saw, and then he turned around and he said, "That's what 100 people looks like." And I saw that. And never from that day in October of 2016 have I ever thought about a view count about how many likes. I mean, yeah, likes are great, and the machine likes it. How many people are at a live show or any of that. You're here with me. I will teach you one-to-one. If you're the only one sitting out there, then you and I are going to have at it. And I'll give you everything I got because I will never forget what that looks like. You are not a view count to me. You are not a view count. That you're a human being with real problems who's spending their own precious time trying to get better. And of all things, you're seeking my help to do it. And I will never forget that. And that's if you're sitting here with me. I mean, and if you join my programs, that's even one layer deeper. It's multiple levels layer deeper where I can do that. But either which way, the fact that you show up for any time, I genuinely appreciate it, and I hope that you know that I mean that. I hope you know that I mean that. Okay, May, and so you never need to apologize, or anybody else. And Diana, you're welcome. See, where are we at? John is asking about the closed caption option this morning. By the way, we all my videos are closed captions, and the live stream should be. And I will look into it. Carol, will you make a note, because I want to make sure we fix that. Thank you. All right, May. I think that is May. All right, May's got a question now. Applied to several job postings online. Haven't heard anything in a month. No contact person to reach out to. Should I reapply? So May, here's what I would do. Reapply. Try to find somebody. I know you said it's hard. That's okay. See if you can send it to a generic mailbox. What you could also do, if you're having trouble, go into Google, put quotes, put the @ sign and then the domain name. .com or .net or whatever. See if any email addresses come up, even generic boxes like careers@companyxyz.com. Then what I would also do is I would go back to Saturday's session, the one that I did on job search networking. I'm not going to go into all the tactics right now because we just had a whole live session on that a couple days ago. And we went into targeting people at the company, boss hunting cover letters, and all that good stuff. That was part of the talk. So that's what I would do, because if you truly want to get into those companies, that's what I would do. All right, hope that helps. All right, Dr. Dermix, you're welcome. How about this? Okay, wait, this is what I love. Real time, during the show, give the advice, execute the advice, get a response. Okay, and I haven't read the whole thing. I just was so excited about that. So Dr. Dermix, I think, might have been my first question. And the doc was asking, they got the offer from Johnson & Johnson on Friday, hadn't heard anything. It's now Thursday, 6 days later. I said email. The response is, thanks, Andy. Just emailed Johnson & Johnson. Got an answer right away. I'll hear early next week. They want to upgrade my position from medical science liaison to senior MSL, and that takes some time on their end. Folks, what did we just get done saying about assumptions? And you never know. And in the absence of information, what do we all do? We draw our own conclusions, and it's never positive, right? I don't know what the hell we do. We fill it all in with negative information. And how awesome is that? Congratulations, that's awesome. Mercy. Got a call from a job agent saying that he could offer me a good position in the way. Oh, God. All right, well, that's true. Beautiful. Jose, Brazil, nice. Dude, you are such a pro with expertise. Thank you, Mercy. You know what? That's a lot of years of experience. But by the way, I know a lot of you. I see a lot of you. You guys are familiar with me. I see your names. I know you're here with me. Just because a trainer's got a lot of experience doesn't make them effective. It's okay. Not 1 year of experience is equal for everybody. Some people pay attention more than others. And then it's not only the experience, they have to translate it to you and break it down so that it's executable and that you learn and can execute that. And whatever trainer you go with, whoever you follow, whoever's programs you enroll in or whatever, You need to make sure of that stuff. You need to make sure of that stuff. But I appreciate that compliment. Shafika, thank you. Andy, you are such a kind and caring person. You know what? I think that is my, thank you for that. I actually think that is my competitive advantage. I simply care more. On this screen, which now has like 8 apps open and all kinds of stuff going on, my screensaver said, my unfair advantage is that I care more. And who needs me on my A game today? You know, when I come to this session, it's the only place that I can possibly be. It's the only thing I could be thinking about at this moment. So I'm going to give you what I got, and I mean it. I mean it. I love live days. I love live days. One other thing. If you're in my community, but you're not in my boot camp, you won't be seeing me for the next few weeks because I'm in the boot camp next week and the week after. So it'll be live office hours. We'll be on vacation for 3 or 4 weeks. So if you want to see me, you got to get in the boot camp. All right, let's see. What else? All right, Diana, do you have material on self-assessment, figuring out what I want to be when I grow up, jobs to target? Is it in the boot camp? Diana, it is in the boot camp. There are multiple spots where we focus on that. The very first session is about getting your headline and your focus in order and your pitch. It's your why and that stuff. And by the way, I don't just say, go figure out your why. I give you questions to ask yourself and guidelines to test that the why is strong enough to be sustainable through the efforts it's going to take in order for you to achieve what it is you want to shift to. And then we break down your requirements, and that is similar for career changers and for job changers to make sure that whatever they are doing, they can evaluate based on those requirements. But with career changers, that list of requirements becomes vital because it also starts, instead of just evaluating companies, they can use the list of requirements to evaluate careers. Okay, and I give the boot campers a spreadsheet with 86 rows in it to start. And it has the requirements all broken down that from Mile Walk, from all of our recruitment efforts, and we've personally collected data from 15,000 people, and we've identified what most people care about, and I've broken it down to 86 line items or 84 line, whatever it is. I just give you that. And then you can kind of go through it and kind of pick and choose. But it's easier to go from a sheet that's filled in than to generate that from scratch. So when you guys know I give away a lot of free stuff, but when you get into these programs, the level of depth is so much greater. That's a tool I would never give away for free. That took a lot. That took 15 years to build that thing, right? So think about it. But yes, it's in there. I think if Diana, if you can't swing the boot camp, the option that I would send you to is I did a 3-part video series a long while ago. You'll notice it was a long while ago. I got a little bit of baby face, no beard, and I was not nearly as adept on the video as I am now, but it's quality content. And it's a 3-part series called The First 5 Steps to Career Success. Go on the YouTube channel. There's a playlist there. You can go to the Mile Walk Academy. There's a green card, and you can click it, and it'll take you to the YouTube playlist. But you could try that if you don't want to swing the boot camp. The boot camp up front stuff is really good. Davida, your passion for people, i.e. us, and your subject matter is inspiring. I hope so. Do you know? You don't know this because I don't know that I've ever said this, but I took an oath. When I decided to become a trainer in July of 2015, and I started building the platform and everything, I took an oath to, inspire and educate and entertain, and that I would never do anything that didn't fall within those, that oath and that guideline. And so if I lose the passion to do it, I'll quit. If I don't love it anymore, I'll quit. But while I'm here, you'll get everything I have. You really will. And I hope, and it's not just me saying that, because I think that if you really truly look, for those of you that are, whether it's job searching or career development or whatever, I know you're out there. You've probably found me on YouTube or LinkedIn or some way. You see a lot of other people that are out there. You're smart. I have respect for you, and I give you credit. You will ferret out the people that you identify with, and a big part of that in getting with trainers or influencers or bloggers or vloggers or whoever is you got to trust them, you got to believe them, and you've got to feel that they care. I have personally gone through hundreds of people that I have followed to help me develop this portion of my career, and I have abandoned nearly all of them, maybe 5, because I didn't think that they cared enough, and that they were with me enough, and that they were dedicated to my success and all the success of the people that are in their community. I think a lot of them got into this field so that they could shoot some videos and then go on the beach and sit and let you buy their product, and they're not accessible. We get a lot of trade-ins. I get a lot of trade-ins from people who've bought training from other trainers. And they say, well, the trainer's never accessible. We can't get our questions answered. This is I can only access this stuff through the Facebook group. Or, I was sold on the trainer, but I'm getting answers by, these youngsters who don't have a lot of experience. Like, all that stuff is that's not right. That's not right. They don't care. They're not there for you. They need to be there for you. So it's kind of a thing with me, because I'm a customer too. I'm a huge customer. In fact, I spend $10,000 a year on training. So I expect that the trainers will be there. And you should expect me to be there. All right. Where was I? Where did I go off on these things? All right. Charles Dare, 100% agree. Okay, I don't know what we're agreeing with here. Lori, hi Andy, starting the boot camp tomorrow. Have a face-to-face today and another tomorrow. Yeah, go get him, girl. You know what? You're going to be fine. You're going to land on your feet with cushy slippers. I read your story, looked at your background, looked at all that stuff. Hang in there. All right. Venkata. Hey, Andrew. Yes, he is a boot camper from India. When we negotiate, does the current salary will also be taken into consideration, or just the performance in the interview on how we negotiate? Here's my take on this. So, and just to kind of rephrase that for Venkata, everybody else. So what some people worry about, fair enough, is, hey, I only make $50,000. So if the job pays $75,000, are they gonna offer me $60,000 thinking I'm gonna be happy? Here's what I have found, and here's what I would say. Mile Walk, we've recruited for over 200 companies in the history of the firm. Not one of those companies, except one time, did somebody hold somebody's current salary against them, and that didn't last. So we had a woman making $55K a year that we were recruiting for a company, an entertainment company, and the job paid $80,000. And the chief operating officer thought that was too big of a leap, like almost a 50% pay increase for this woman. But we got it for her because he said, hey, there should be no bearing on what she currently earns. That's what the job pays. That's what you're asking her to do. You're going to expect her to perform, and so on and so forth. Now, I'm not saying everybody is going to be the same way. However, what you need to do from a negotiation standpoint is you need to hold your ground. That this is the value that I'm going to bring. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's how I'm going to do it. I've demonstrated that in the interviewing process. Would you agree? And so on. And that is my recommendation, is that you go at it and you make your argument that you are worth it. But folks, you can't just make the argument if you didn't substantiate it in the interviewing process. Because sometimes you think, this is common. You think an employer's being cheap. The first place I would look if the employer is being cheap, first place, right in the mirror. Did you make a compelling enough argument? I'm not talking about did you negotiate effectively. I'm talking about did you lay the foundation along the way that warranted you getting paid what you feel you deserve? And if you didn't, most of the time, it's that you didn't convey the value. You didn't connect the dots, or you didn't do that. Really look at that. Really look at that. If you're in the boot camp, it's one of the things we talk about in the salary negotiation section about laying the foundation. You got to make sure that you're crushing it along the way. So that's a great question, buddy. I mean, that's a great question. But I think in most cases that will not matter as much as you think it will. Like I said, most people, they assume that it's human nature. I do not see that. I do not see that. I think it's that people are not making the arguments. They're not scoring enough points in the interview. They're not justifying it. We see entirely too many pay jumps that are huge because somebody crushed it in the interview. Okay. Lori. Connie wishing Lori good thought. So wait, Lori, my interview tip is watch session 4 of the boot camp. Watch session 4 of the boot camp. Go, crash course. Hurry. You could take that down today. That's what I would do. If you are having several interviews, but you're not getting offers, then what I would say is you gotta look at the storytelling. Are you mapping what you're awesome at against what they need at this moment? Lori, that's number 1. And number 2, and Lori, I don't know if you were here Tuesday, 2 days ago. The whole premise, this is important for you as well, is are you getting the employers to look into the future and what their life will be like as a result of having you there recruiting for them? It's the future. So crash course would be the boot camp session 4 and the Tuesday session on job interviewing and getting them to shift to the future. I'm telling you, it's very powerful to tap into their imagination. So not only are you connecting the dots on their reality and what you can do and what you will do for them in need, and then shifting their imagination to the future, or shifting the discussion to the future, so you're tapping into their imagination. But you got the experience. I know that. Steve Smith, how are you? Decided to go for it and become boot camper. Yeah! Followed you for several months now. Time to take the leap of faith. You know what? I got a lot of faith. I really do. I got a lot of faith in my ability to help you. I have a lot of faith in your ability to figure it out and what you need to do. And I am thrilled that you're joining us. That's awesome. Diana, you're welcome. I don't know what was funny, but that's great. Family on waves. I just moved from Germany. Used to be a senior manager in the pharmaceutical industry. I am not sure what level I should apply here. I have no experience in the U.S. My response to you and anybody who is not sure, I'm a senior manager here, I'm a manager there, whatever, look at the job description. Look what it's calling for. So, Family on Waves, I wish I knew your name. But anybody, look at multiple job descriptions. See what they're calling for. Go online into Indeed.com. Go and look at pharma companies and look at senior manager of whatever it was whatever your business function was. Because you could be a senior manager in the technology area. You could be a senior manager in the sales area. You could be whatever. But then look at the job descriptions and then kind of, do some intel gathering. Figure out, hey, this is, it looks like the senior managers need 10 years or more, 10 to 15. Managers have 7 to 10 and so on. And then just stack yourself. That's what I would do. Hope that helps. Connie Cotters. Yeah, that's another one. Check out my job interview tips. Lori, you're welcome. All right, folks, 12:53. Listen, I had a great one today. I do have to roll. I hope some of you jumped into the boot camp. You got until midnight tonight Pacific time. For those of you who are not in the boot camp, I'll see you in 3 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever it is. I have to look at what the calendar says. But live office hours will be on vacation for a few weeks. There will be some videos along the way that I'll be putting out. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Jump into that boot camp. It is a load of fun. It is risk-free. 30 days. No questions. I would be sad if you left, but that's okay. Whatever your reason is your reason. If you have any questions, email me, support@malwalk.com, or reply to one of the emails that you're likely to get this afternoon reminding you that we're expiring this. So you can, those go to me. I read them. Be nice. Be gentle. Cool. All right. Love you guys. I will see you soon. If I did not get to your, I think I got most of the questions. If I did not get to, if you got a question that you think of after the fact, go into, here's a little insider tip about me. When these are done, when we do live office hours on Thursday, the best time if I miss your question is to jump in right then and drop it into the comment section. The best time to ask me questions is on Tuesday morning when I release the 6:30 a.m. Central Time video as well, because I'm online. The video's scheduled, but I'm there waiting for questions and comments and all that, and then I make sure everything's going okay, and I'm sitting right there, and I'm responding to comments and questions and all that good stuff. So that's just a little something that for those of you that are the 71 of you still here with me, that's just a little tidbit of information. All right, love you all. I will see you soon. Hope to see you inside the boot camp, but if not, I will see you around live office hours or the channel or the blog. Take care.